demonstration. What I'm going to be doing is kind of going from step to step all the way down here. So we're going to start off with the technique that I use. You push the clay up and down 3 times. That's just to kind of get it working smoothly. And so when you start off, we're going to start off with a shape that's sort of like this. There's no sense starting off with a flat shape and then having to push it up. So we would want to make that as easy as possible. So we're going to start off by pushing it up and down 3 times. Don't push it down too flat, because if you do, you're going to get a little indentation in the middle, and I'll demonstrate that. This is pretty much the 3rd time you push it up and down. It looks something like this. Then we're going to flatten it out. This would be, and this is the part where it would have to be centered. It really needs to be centered, so when you open it up, you don't have thick and thin walls. And you can see the red line. It should have drawn that so it's a little flatter. Same thing here. We're going to open this up. It begins to kind of start the process of making it into a pot. And then from here, if you come over here, you can see we're going to pull that out to where that's straight. This is straight up and down and wide enough you can get 3 fingers in there. And I think if you're going to use this process, it might be helpful if you have it thrown to kind of copy this so you can look at it. It'll give you some idea of where you want to go with the next step. You don't want to confuse this step with this step over here. If you want to do this, cut it back so that, and this is basically just that's just the width of the finger back there. Then we're going to start making the shape itself, so we pull this up, we take this and stretch it up. And this, ideally, you want the wall to be the same thickness all the way up and down, and that's what really makes making a draw on the clay. I call it a knuckle pass, but that's what really makes it easy and smooth. And over here you see the inside hand pushes the clay out and thins it. Whatever you have on the outside, it could be a finger, it could be a knuckle. If it's a lot of clay, it might even be a palm. And this stretches it out, this comes up behind it and straightens it up, and what you end up with is a thinner wall. We push this out, that straightens it up. So let's go to the wheel and start the process. Now, I've wedged this up. I want to make sure you wedge your clay, it's important. But you see, as I'm smacking this into the shape I want to get started with, the bottom has a lot of wrinkles on it there. And we don't want that, and especially, you might be able to get by with this if you're throwing a small amount of clay. But if you have a large amount of clay, what's going to happen is, to say, this is the wheel head here, and this is your clay. If you have a little air bubble in here, when you push on the clay here, it's going to push it over to here. And when it comes back around, it's going to be a little bit, that clay's going to be off center. So you want to make sure that when you, make sure there are no little places in here that can cause an air bubble. And what I do is I round this off a little bit, so when I smack this down, it hits in the middle, and the pressure from the clay moves it out and flattens it all the way out to the side, and then I'm going to seal it down. So I'm going to take just a little bit of water on here, so if this is sticky, I don't want it to be really wet. I'll show you what happens if it's wet. And this is what happens. When I put this down here, it really hasn't sealed because the layer of water keeps it from attaching to the wheel head. So, and what's going to happen is it's going to fly off, probably in that direction. And if you happen to keep your water bucket over there, it'll take it with it. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay and just scrub this up to make it a little drier now. So now, make sure this is dry. So now I'm going to smack this down in the middle. And you can tell by looking at the lines on the wheel how close it is. If it's way off, just, you can slide it over or tap it over sometimes, but if it's way off, just pick it up and try again. So now, I'm turning this on. Hold it, stop just a second here. Here's the pedal.
Can you pause?